Hello dear viewers, I am Dr. Suyogavardhan DM, Assistant Professor, SVS College, Bantwal. Now I am going to explain you about aromatic electrophilic and nucleophilic substitution reactions. In organic chemistry, if we classify the reactions into different types, mainly we are going to classify them as substitution reactions, addition reactions, elimination reactions, and rearrangement reactions. So these are the main 4 different classes of organic reactions which we are going to see. So along with these, pericyclic reactions, photochemical reactions, redox reactions, and so on, many other organic reactions are there. But if we mainly see what are the main classifications in organic chemistry, so we can see only these 4. So in our previous classes, we have understood substitution reactions and elimination reactions. Nucleophilic substitution reactions, that is SN1 and SN2 reactions, we have clearly understood in our previous classes, and also elimination reaction we have understood. Today, let us clearly understand what is meant by aromatic electrophilic substitution reaction. Before moving on to the introduction part, if we observe the picture what I am displaying in my title slide, we can see various types of organic reactions that can take place with the help of an aromatic ring. So, in organic chemistry research, if you want to synthesize a compound, we perform various types of reactions. For example, if you want to synthesize a compound which is having a halogen, we are going to perform halogenation. If you want to synthesize a compound which is having a nitro group, we will perform nitration. Likewise, sulfonation, hydroxylation, alkylation, acylation, these are various types of organic reactions where we see a aromatic ring has been used as a substrate or a starting material. So now let us understand what is the difference between aliphatic and aromatic substitution reactions. As I said in our previous classes, we have studied nucleophilic substitution reactions, that is SN1 and SN2 reactions. So there we observed the SN1 and SN2 reactions were performed with the aliphatic carbon containing compounds. So most of the substitutions at an aliphatic carbon are by nucleophiles. Whereas in case of aromatic system, the situation is reversed. That means, so aromatic compounds undergo electrophilic substitutions rather than aliphatic compounds. The reason behind this is the high electron density at the aromatic ring. In electrophilic substitutions, we need a positive ion or the positive end of a dipole or induced dipole which is attacked by the aromatic ring. When this happens, the leaving group must necessarily depart without its electron pair. In nucleophilic substitutions, the chief leaving groups are those which are best able to carry the unshared pair. For example, so the bromine and the water and a tosyl group, so and so on. So these will act as a chief leaving groups in case of nucleophilic substitution reaction. Now let us move on to the introduction part. Aromatic electrophilic substitution reaction. Aromatic, the first word what we are seeing here is aromatic. When the word aromatic comes into our mind, so we'll think of a benzene ring. A benzene is an example of aromatic ring. Now we have to understand the structure of benzene. Benzene is a planar symmetrical hexagon with 6 trigonal carbon atoms. So the benzene is in sp2 hybridized state. The special stability of benzene, what we call it as aromaticity, comes from the 6 pi electrons. Due to this structure, benzene is very unreactive. That means it is satisfied. It is satisfied with the electron pairs which it is having, and those electron pairs are delocalized. That means it can revolve around all the 6 carbon atoms which are present in it, and they are delocalized. So, for this reason benzene is very unreactive. It combines only with very reactive electrophiles, usually the cations. The cations are called as electrophiles. So, it combines only with very reactive electrophiles, and it gives substitution product and not the addition product. This is very important. Benzene undergoes substitution reaction. So, the intermediate in electrophilic aromatic substitution is a delocalized cation. Now, let me define what is aromatic electrophilic substitution reaction. Aromatic electrophilic substitution is a reaction in which an electrophile substitutes for hydrogen of an aromatic compound. Now, imagine a benzene ring. Benzene has got hydrogens which has been attached to the 6 carbon atoms. So, any one of the hydrogen is going to be replaced by a electrophile. So, here the electrophile is going to act as a substitute for hydrogen which is already present in the aromatic compound, that is benzene. So, the benzene ring with its delocalized pi electrons is an electron rich system. As I said, since it has got delocalized electrons in its ring, it is electron rich in system. Hence, it is readily attacked by electrophiles, giving substitution products. Now, we can see in the reaction what I am showing here. So, the benzene ring acts as a substrate, and to this substrate a electrophile is going to attack. The reaction takes place in the presence of a catalyst to form a substitution product with the elimination of a leaving group. So, this H plus will be called as a leaving group, thereby it forms a substitution product. Now, let us understand the general pattern of mechanism. All aromatic electrophilic substitution reactions takes place by the same two-step mechanism after the generation of suitable electrophile. So, the very first step in the mechanism of aromatic electrophilic substitution is generation of a suitable electrophile. Once after the generation of electrophile has been taken place, next what happens is, so the attacking electrophile which has been generated will approach the delocalized pi orbital of the aromatic substrate to form a pi complex. The pi complex is a high energy unstable state formed when an electrophile approaches the aromatic system. If we can observe in this reaction, so here when the electrophile approaches the aromatic compound, here what happens is the formation of a coordinate bond, not a sigma bond formation is taking place here. The formation of coordinate bond between the aromatic compound and the electrophile takes place, which in turn converts it into a complex, what we call it as a pi complex. Next what happens is, so the pi complex leads to the formation of sigma complex, where the electrophile gets bonded to one of the ring carbon atoms through sigma covalent bonds. A sigma complex is nothing but a resonance stabilized carbocation intermediate. So this is what is going to take place in the first step. In the second step, what happens is, so the pi complex which has been formed, so that will be converted into a sigma complex, which is a resonance stabilized carbocation intermediate. So that will again react and it will pulse off the proton from the carbocation intermediate and it will form a substitution product with the removal of a proton from that compound. And finally, we are going to get a substitution product. The step 1 is relatively slow and endothermic because an aromatic compound is converted to a non-aromatic carbocation intermediate. Step 2 is fast and strongly exothermic. This is because in this step, so the starting material, that is what we call it as a substrate, it restores aromaticity and enhances the stability. So these are the distinctions what we can observe in two steps, that is step 1 and step 2 of general pattern of mechanism in case of electrophilic substitution reactions. So here a resonance structure of benzene should be understood because it is not sure where exactly the electrophile is going to attack. It can take place with any of the carbon which is present in the benzene ring. That is, 6 carbon atoms are present in the benzene ring. So the electrophile can go and attack to the any of the carbon. So the cationic intermediate is less stable than the starting material or the products, that we should understand. So the cationic intermediate, what it is going to form once after the attack of electrophile takes place, it is less stable. But as a cation, it is reasonably stable because of delocalizations around the 6-membered ring. So here the charge can be delocalized to the 2 ortho positions and to the para positions, or can be drawn as a delocalized structure with the dotted bonds about 1/3 of a plus charge at 3 atoms. Now let us understand what is energy profile diagram, or we call it as reaction coordinate diagram. The mechanism of a reaction shows the various steps that are involved when the reactants are converted into products. That's what we understood in our previous slides, general pattern of mechanism. There we understood what and all the steps it will take place for a reactants to convert into the products. Whereas a reaction coordinate diagram describes the energy changes that takes place in each step of the mechanism. In reaction coordinate diagram, the total energy of all species is plotted against the progress of the reaction. So here in this diagram, if we can observe, as I told here, 2 transition states are formed. So these are the 2 transition states. If we observe in a clear way, in the first transition state, what has been happened is, here hydrogen has got a firm bond which has been formed between the carbon and hydrogen, right? But electrophile has been shown in a dotted lines. That means hydrogen is already present in it and electrophile is attacked to this. Why it happens is, so here the pi bond which has been formed between this carbon and this one, so it has been broken, and here we can observe a negative charge in this carbon, particularly in this carbon. So that will pull the electrophile towards it. When it happens, so here we can observe a energy change which is shown in this curve. And in the second step, that is in the transition state 2, what happens here is, so the electrophile will be forming a firm bond between this carbon and the electrophile, whereas the hydrogen will be starting to leave the carbon. So these are the two transition states. So in between these two transition states, a carbocation intermediate is formed. Okay, so this is the starting material. So these are the reactants. This is benzene. We can observe a benzene here. So to this benzene, electrophile is attacking. When this electrophile attacks to this benzene, automatically, so the pi bond which has been present here, that is the delocalized electron, one of the delocalized electron, that is the bond, will broken up, and next so this electrophile will attack this reactant. When this happens, automatically the hydrogen which has been already present in it, so that has to depart. So when it starts getting departed, so the electrophile will start forming a firm bond, what we call it as a covalent bond, and a carbocation intermediate state will be formed, and later on as the reaction proceeds, we will form a substitution product. So along with that, so the leaving group, what we call as a H plus, so that will get left. Okay, so this is how we are going to explain the energy changes which takes place in each step of the mechanism with the help of energy profile diagram. So here the energy profile diagram has been plotted by taking the energy of the products on the left hand side and by taking the products which is formed in the x axis, that is reaction coordinate will be plotted in the x axis along with the products. Okay, so the y axis explains the energy changes and the x axis explains the reaction coordinates, that is how the reactants are going to get converted into products. So the reactants pass through two maximum energy states, what is called as transition states, and get converted into the products which are lower in energy and more stable. So these are the points what I have already explained. So the mechanism of the reaction shows various steps that were involved, whereas the reaction coordinate diagram describes the energy changes that takes place in each step of the mechanism. So the total energy of all the species is plotted against the progress of the reaction. So this is what our energy coordinate diagram is going to explain. Now let us see some common electrophilic substitution reactions with examples and with mechanisms. We'll understand the mechanisms also. So the common electrophilic substitution reactions are chlorination, nitration, sulfonation, Friedel-Crafts reaction. So these are some common electrophilic substitution reactions. So now let us see one by one. So the first one is chlorination. So in this, when benzene reacts with chlorine in the presence of ferric chloride or aluminum chloride as a catalyst at room temperature, it forms chlorobenzene. So now see the reaction benzene. So this is what is called as a substrate. So it is going to react with chlorine. Chlorine will form an electrophile by combining with the catalyst, that is FeCl3, and it will form a substitution product what is called as chlorobenzene. Now we will understand the mechanism stepwise. Step 1, as I said in the beginning, all aromatic electrophilic substitution reactions takes place by the same two-step mechanisms after the generation of suitable electrophile, right? So in the first step, a suitable electrophile has to be generated. So now let us take a chlorine molecule. This chlorine molecule, when it combines with ferric chloride, so it is going to form a electrophile, that is Cl plus atom, we call it as atom, it is a electrophile or a cation, and thereby forming a FeCl4 minus anion. This is the first step. And let us see in this next step, step 2, what happens. So the electrophile which has been generated in the first step, so this goes and attacks the benzene ring. When it attacks the benzene ring, so the pi bond which has been formed here, that will get broken, and the chlorine will attack the carbon which is present here, and thereby creating a positive charge here, because this carbon is insufficient of the electrons or the bonds, thereby forming a carbocation. Okay, so in the second step, so the generation of carbocation takes place, that is attack of benzene ring by the electrophile to form carbocation. Next, in step 3, loss of proton from carbocation to yield chlorobenzene. So here if you can observe, so here H is the leaving group, so this H has to leave when a electrophile, that is chlorine, attacks the carbon of the benzene ring. When this happens, here the bond between this carbon and hydrogen has to broken up, and when this bond breaks, what happens here, the lone pair of electron will return to this carbon atom, thereby making this carbon satisfied. Okay, so again we are going to get a double bond here. Okay, next what happens is, so this H will be converted into HCl by reacting with the excess chlorine atom which is present in FeCl4 minus catalyst. Okay, so here FeCl4 minus has been formed, so here one chlorine will be excess, that will react with this hydrogen, thereby forming HCl, and FeCl3 as a catalyst that will be left over. Okay, so in this way chlorobenzene is formed in simple two-step mechanism. Here step 1 is formation of the electrophile, and the next two steps are common in all the electrophilic substitution reactions. Now let us understand how nitration is going to take place. So here the starting material or the substrate is benzene. When benzene reacts with concentrated nitric acid in the presence of sulfuric acid, which is also a concentrated, at 60 degrees centigrade, it forms a nitrobenzene, and the reaction is called as nitration. So now let us understand the mechanism. Step 1 is the formation of a suitable electrophile. When nitric acid reacts with sulfuric acid, it forms a electrophile. Okay, what is called as nitrogen peroxide or nitronium ion, which is a cation, and thereby it forms hydrogen sulfate ion, or we also call it as bisulfate ion. Okay, along with the hydronium ion. So here, so the nitrogen peroxide or nitronium ion is a electrophile. In the second step, what happens? So the electrophile will attack the benzene ring. Okay, so the same sort of reaction takes place as I have explained in chlorination. So here this bond is going to get broken, and it will form a positive charge in this carbon. Okay, and this compound is called as a carbocation. Next, in the step 3, the carbocation is going to react with the hydrogen sulfate ion, and it will get converted into sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4. So here the leaving group H will be drawn by this bisulfate ion, and thereby it will form a final product, that is nitrobenzene. Now let us understand what happens in case of sulfonation. Benzene reacts with concentrated sulfuric acid at 120 degree centigrade or with fuming sulfuric acid, that is concentrated H2SO4 containing dissolved sulfur trioxide, that is what is called as fuming sulfuric acid. If we take concentrated H2SO4, so which has been dissolved in the sulfur trioxide, will get fuming sulfuric acid at room temperature to give benzene sulfonic acid. So this is what is called as sulfonation. Okay, I repeat, when we react benzene with concentrated H2SO4 at 120 degree centigrade with fuming H2SO4 at room temperature, so we are going to get benzene sulfonic acid. This reaction is called as sulfonation. Now let us understand the mechanism. As I said, the first step in the mechanism is formation of a electrophile. So here in fuming H2SO4, so the dissolved SO3 plus reacts directly. Okay, so the sulfur trioxide ion is formed when it is dissolved in the fuming H2SO4 in concentrated H2SO4. So the sulfur trioxide ion is formed. So this is what is called as an electrophile. So in the step 2, benzene will attack the sulfur trioxide electrophile and it will form a carbocation. So this is resonance stabilized carbocation. Either it may form this product or this product. So these two are resonance stabilized. And this carbocation, in the next step, what happens? So the hydrogen, which is called as a leaving group, so that will attack this bisulfate ion and it will form benzene sulfonate ion in the step 2. Okay. So this will abstract this leaving group, that is hydrogen, and thereby it will get converted into sulfuric acid, and only the sulfur trioxide is left. That sulfur trioxide will be attacked to this benzene ring. So the product which has been formed is called as benzene sulfonate ion. In the step 4, addition of proton to this benzene sulfonate ion to yield benzene sulfonic acid. So this is ion. So this has to get satisfied or stable. Okay. So what happens? So it abstracts a hydrogen. So from where it gets the hydrogen? From the hydronium ion which has been formed in the step 1. So this hydronium ion will donate a proton to this sulfonate ion. Okay, and it will convert this product into benzene sulfonic acid and thereby leaving water molecules. So this is what is called as sulfonation. Now let us understand Friedel-Crafts acylation. Benzene reacts with acid chlorides or anhydrides in the presence of aluminum chloride to form aromatic ketones. This is what is called as Friedel-Crafts acylation. Let us understand the mechanism stepwise. So as I told, in the first step, formation of electrophile takes place. So here benzene is the substrate and acetyl chloride is the compound which is going to form or give a electrophile to this benzene. So when acetyl chloride is reacted with aluminum chloride, what happens here is, so we are going to get a electrophile with the formation of AlCl4 minus ion. Okay. So this is what is electrophile. In the step 2, the benzene attacks this electrophile, will get a carbocation. And in step 3, loss of proton from carbocation to form acetophenone. Okay. So this hydrogen will react with this AlCl4 or it will get back the chlorine which has been excess in this AlCl4 and gets it converted into HCl, and AlCl3 as a catalyst, it will be liberated and it will form a acetophenone. So this is what is called as Friedel-Crafts acylation. Now let us understand what is activating and deactivating substituents in case of aromatic substitution reactions. A substituent present on the benzene ring may activate or deactivate the benzene ring towards further substitution. A substituent which activates the aromatic ring for further substitution is called as an activating substituent. A substituent which deactivates the aromatic ring for further substitution is called as deactivating substituent. The rate of electrophilic aromatic substitution depends on the availability of the electrons in the benzene ring. If the ring is electron rich, the electrophilic attack would be faster. If the ring is electron deficient, the attack would be slower. Thus, an electron donating or releasing substituent activates the aromatic ring, while an electron withdrawing substituent deactivates it towards electrophilic substitution. The groups such as hydroxyl, amino, methyl, etc., they are called as electron releasing groups if they are present in the benzene ring by resonance and make it electron rich at the ortho and para positions. Therefore, these groups are ring activators. For example, toluene undergoes nitration much faster than benzene. The groups such as nitro, CHO, COR or sulfonic acid group or cyano group or carboxylic group etc. are called as electron withdrawing groups which are present in the ring by resonance and make it electron deficient. So, these groups deactivate the ring for electrophilic attack. For example, nitrobenzene reacts slower than benzene. Now, let us understand what is meant by orienting influence of groups. A substituent already present on the benzene ring may direct the incoming substituent to ortho, meta or para positions depending on the nature of the first substituent. This effect is called as orienting influence or directing effect. As we have discussed in the introduction part, in an aromatic compound, that is benzene ring, 6 carbon atoms are there. In 6 carbon atoms, so there is a chances of 2 substituents can be present in each of the carbon, right? So that is how it makes a aromatic carbon. So the substituent which is already present in that benzene ring, so it will direct the electrophile to different positions. The different positions are either ortho, para or meta positions. So the substituent which has been already present in the benzene ring or aromatic compound, that will direct the incoming substituent, what we call as an electrophile, to different positions, that is ortho, meta or para positions, depending upon the nature of the first substituent. So this is what is called as orienting influence of groups. Now let us understand one by one, that is ortho para directing effect. As the name itself says here, so the substituent which has been already present in the benzene ring that will direct the incoming substituent, that is electrophile, towards the ortho and para position simultaneously. So this is what is called as ortho-para directing effect. Let me define it. Some substituents direct the incoming substituent to the ortho and para positions simultaneously. These substituents are called ortho-para directors. For example, when phenol is nitrated, orthonitrophenol and paranitrophenol is formed. Orthonitrophenol is of 53% and paranitrophenol 47% is present. So the substituent which has been already present in the phenol, that is OH group. So this substituent has got a directed effect on the nitro group to ortho and para position of the ring. Therefore, here the OH group is designated as ortho-para director. Some examples of ortho-para directing groups are chlorine, bromine, iodine, hydroxyl, methoxy, and ethyl group, and some other examples can be given for this ortho-para directors. The ortho-para orienting influence of the substituents can be explained on the basis of resonance theory. So the various resonance forums of phenol in which the substituent OH is strongly ortho-para directing is shown here. So here if we can observe the resonance structures of phenol, so these all are the resonance structures, the resonance forums which phenol can exhibit. So here in the resonance hybrid, we can see a negative inductive effect in the ortho and para positions. We don't have any effect here in the meta position, that is in the third position. Okay, so this is the ortho and this is para and this is meta position. So here we have negative effect in the two ortho positions and in one para position. Because of this reason, so the electrophile which will attack the phenol has a chances of getting attacked to either these two ortho positions, or it can attack this para position and it will not take meta position. That means we will not get a metanitrophenol. Okay, so in this we have seen when phenol reacts with nitric acid, we are going to get orthonitrophenol, that is of 53%, and paranitrophenol 47%. No metanitrophenol. The reason behind this is explained by understanding the resonance theory. If we understand the resonance forums of phenol, the resonance hybrid will create a negative inductive effect only in these two ortho positions and in this para positions. So that is why the electrophile will attack only these two positions. So there are two non-bonding electron pairs on the oxygen atom attached to the ring. One of these is distributed into the ring by interaction with the pi electron system as shown in this resonance forums. In the resonance structures, the ortho and para positions have greater electron density than the meta position. Therefore, the resonance hybrid has negative charges in the ortho and para positions with electron delocalization. The electrophile would naturally at these electron rich centers will attack and form a substitution product. Similarly, the ortho-para directing influence of amine and chloro groups can be explained on the basis of resonance theory. The nitrogen atom of amino group and the chloro atom possesses a non-bonding electron pair which are distributed into the ring. Next is hyperconjugation theory. All ortho-para directing substituents possess a non-bonding electron pair on the key atom, but the alkyl group is an exception. It is ortho-para directing although it has no non-bonding electron pair on the key atom carbon. The ortho-para directing influence of CH3 group can be explained on the basis of hyperconjugation. It involves the interaction of sigma electrons instead of the usual non-bonding electron pair of the key atom. Thus, the resonance structures of toluene may be written in this way. So, in this also, if we can observe in the resonance hybrid, so here a negative inductive effect has been exhibited in the two ortho positions and in the para positions, and therefore, so the higher electron density at ortho and para positions, so the electrophilic attack takes place at these positions. Except halogens, all ortho-para directing substituents are ring activators. Now let us understand anomalous behavior of halogens. Even though the halogens are ortho-para directing substituents, they are found to be ring deactivators. This anomalous behavior of halogen is attributed to two opposing effects, that is, one is resonance effect and the second one is inductive effect. A halogen substituent is electron releasing by resonance but electron withdrawing because of its high electronegativity, what is called as inductive effect, right? All the halogens have got electronegativity, whereas the inductive effect dominates the resonance effect, and the net result is that the ring is rendered electron deficient. Hence, the aryl halides undergo electrophilic substitution at ortho and para positions less readily than benzene. Now let us understand what is meta-directing effect. So till now we understood ortho-para directing effect. Now let us see what is meant by meta-directing effect. The substituents which direct the incoming substituent mainly to the meta position are referred to as meta-directors. For example, nitration of nitrobenzene gives 94% of meta-dinitrobenzene and only 5% of ortho and 1% of para-dinitrobenzene. Some meta-directing groups are, so the sulfonic acid groups, cyano group, nitro groups, aldehydes, carboxylic acids. So all these acts as a meta-directing groups. Now let us take the example of nitration of benzene and we'll understand why it will direct the incoming substituent towards the meta position only. In the case of meta-directing substituents, the key atom is bonded to a highly electronegative atom by a double or triple bond. So here in this, nitrobenzene acts as a highly electronegative atom which has been formed by a double bond. The electronegative atom pulls the electron pair of the multiple bond, here the double bond, and thus a positive charge on the key atom is formed. The key atom in turn withdraws electrons from the benzene ring, causing resonance. Okay, so these all are the resonance structure, what we call as canonical forms. So these are the canonical forms of nitrobenzene. So the key atom in turn withdraws electrons from the benzene ring, causing resonance. Thus, nitrobenzene is a resonance hybrid of the following, that is, these canonical forms. The ortho and para positions of the resonance structures have a positive charge, and the electrophile will not attack at these positions. Okay, so here the ortho and para positions will have a positive charge. You can observe here. Here in this resonance forum, will have a positive charge here and will have a positive charge here. So these two are the ortho positions. We have a positive charge here. Whether a positive charge can attract a positive charge? No, it is not possible, right? If we have a positive charge here, then it will pulse a nucleophile. So here we are studying electrophilic substitution reaction. So therefore, a electrophile has to be attacked to this. But the electrophile will not come here because this is also having a positive charge, and electrophile is also a cation that will also have a positive charge. So due to that reason, so we cannot get any substituents on this two ortho positions or here in the para position. The only place left is the meta positions. Okay, so that is the reason why we will observe a meta directing effect in case of nitration of nitrobenzene. Similarly, the carboxylic acid, so this is the resonance form or the canonical forms of carboxylic acid, and this is the canonical forms of benzonitrile. If we observe in these two forums, resonance forums, here we cannot find the substituent, that is the incoming electrophile, that can go and attack to the ortho or para positions. Only a meta position is left. So therefore, so we'll get meta substituted products. So that is why carboxylic acid and benzonitrile also shows the resonance analogues corresponding to nitrobenzene. So the resonance hybrid has positive charge on the ortho and para positions, hence the electrophile attacks at the meta positions. And another one thing what we have to observe here is all meta directing substituents are ring deactivators, whereas ortho and para directing substituents are ring activators, whereas these meta directing agents or substituents are called as ring deactivators. Now let us see what is meant by ortho or para ratio. That means, as I have said, so the incoming substituent has got an ability either to attack to the ortho position or to the para position. Okay, so and ortho and para will come simultaneously, whereas meta is different. So now we have to understand in what ratio the ortho para effect is going to takes place. What is meant by ortho para ratio? When a benzene ring with an ortho or para directing substituent is present, it undergoes electrophilic aromatic substitutions. We can expect more of the ortho product than the para product. This is because there are two ortho positions for the incoming electrophile, but the ortho positions are sterically hindered compared to the para positions. Hence, the para isomers will be preferentially formed if either the substituent on the ring or the incoming electrophile is large. These are the examples of ortho-para ratio. So here, if we observe it, the decrease in the ortho-para ratio with the increase in size of the alkyl substituent can be observed. Okay, so here CH3 is the alkyl substituent which is present. The same nitration has been carried out here. So here, if the size of the alkyl substituent as it goes on increasing, so here methyl substituent is there, so here ethyl substituent is there. So likewise, as the size increases, size of the alkyl substituent increases, so we can observe the decrease in the ortho-para ratio. Okay, so this is what is called as ortho-para ratio. Thank you, dear viewers. So in my next presentation, let us discuss about nucleophilic aromatic substitution reactions. Thank you, one and all.